Designing a system with Crestron digital media is easy. Actually, it's not much different than traditional analog systems. There are just a few things to keep in mind when connecting digital or HD devices. I'll review those with you so you're prepared and there are no surprises when you get to the installation phase. Before sitting down to design the system, it's always best to do a site survey. There are a couple of things you want to think about. First, you want to consider the type of cabling. Second, the distances of the cable runs. And third, native resolutions of any legacy equipment. If you have your choice of wire, fiber is preferable. You can use existing fiber or your own, but we recommend our Crest Fiber cable. Crest Fiber is standard multi-mode fiber with standard SC connectors. There's nothing proprietary about it, it's just better. Why? No other cable can guarantee 1.2 gigahertz bandwidth, and you need it to transmit 1080p with deep color. If using your own fiber, you'll need 2 strands. DM supports both 50 micron and 62.5 micron multi-mode fiber as long as the bandwidth is sufficient. Refer to the DM design guide for details. You can also run copper. If it's new construction, we suggest Crestron DM cable. DM cable was specially engineered for optimal performance with a Crestron digital media system. It consists of 3 wires, 1 Cat5, a CrestNet-like supervisory wire, and 4 shielded twisted pair. The DM connectors are really easy to terminate in the field. We actually evaluated more than 20 connectors. Ours don't require any tools and they're reusable. They may cost a little more up front, but they'll save you a lot in the long run. It's also worth noting that we don't use skew-free wire. As you probably know, skew-free is not good for high-speed data. You wouldn't use it to run Ethernet, so you certainly don't want to use it for uncompressed HD video. For legacy systems and retrofits, you can design a DM system using existing Cat5e or Cat6 cable. You can mix and match copper and fiber wire within a system. A good rule of thumb is to use copper for in-room runs and fiber out of rooms. Basically, you can use whatever cables you want. We just want to decide up front because DM switchers are card-based, and we have both copper and fiber input and output cards. After you decide on wire, the next thing to look at is distance. As with any system, you want to note the distances for your cable runs. Finally, if there are existing cable runs, you want to determine the video they can support. This can be done easily by running the data rate test from the front panel of a DM switcher. You can keep a DM switcher and room box in the truck as part of your test kit. Simply connect the sources to the switcher and hang a room box at the other end. The DM switcher will tell you the resolution each cable run can support. Why do you need to know the resolution? There's a different distance specification for cable runs based on the type of wire and output resolution of the source. Now you can sit down and design a reliable, high-performance system. Once you've decided on cable and determined distances and resolution, designing a DM system is basically the same as designing any other system. Step 1. Pick your sources. Once you know the number of sources and types of output signals, you can simply choose the corresponding DM input cards. Step 2. Select your displays so you know how many output cards you need, and so you can normalize the resolution of the system. When you specify displays, try to select displays that are all capable of 1920 by 1080. If you have owner-furnished equipment and resolution cannot be normalized, DM can manage ED/ID data and compensate for the different resolutions. The trade-off is that sources will output the best common resolution to all displays, which is often 720p or 1080i. Again, just like a traditional analog system, the number of inputs and outputs will determine the size of the switcher you need, either the DM-MD 8x8 or the DM-MD 16x16. Multiple DM switchers may be cascaded for larger systems. One side note, when selecting source equipment, keep in mind how many displays and surround sound processors you have. HD sources can accept HDCP authentication keys from a limited number of displays. For example, if you have 8 displays but the source can only accept 3 keys, you will only be able to distribute that source to 3 of the 8 displays. Without DM, if you try to distribute that signal to another display, the source will shut down. Only Crestron digital media switchers can test and quantify the number of keys that sources can accept. We publish a list of sources by manufacturer specifying the key limitations of each. For optimal system performance, refer to the latest chart on our website during this design phase. Step 3. Let's check off any distance or power considerations. If you're running fiber, you don't need any repeaters. You can go up to 1,000 feet using our standard fiber output card and room box. Remember that fiber equipment can be powered locally or by 24-volt DC from the DM switcher. Refer to the DM design guide for details. If you're running CrestCat-D and distributing 1080p, you can go up to 100 feet between repeaters and up to a total of 400 feet to the display. If you're using DM cable at 1080p, you can go up to 150 feet between repeaters and up to 450 feet to the display. Refer to the design guide for distance specifications for other resolutions. Step 4. There is one important audio consideration. HDMI cannot output both surround sound and two-channel audio at the same time. For example, if you're watching a movie in the living room theater and you also want to watch in the kitchen while you're making dinner, HDMI can't do it. If you want multi-channel and stereo audio at the same time, you'll need an input card with a DSP. Make sure you include a DMC HD DSP card in your specification. Now you can specify the DM switcher, populate all the input and output cards, pull wire and terminate connectors, and lay out any necessary repeaters, room boxes, and power supplies. You're ready to move on to the installation phase. Remember to use the Digital Media Design Guide for quick reference, design concepts, specifications, and helpful tips.